And I want to welcome all of you. And I guess the biggest thing I want to do is thank you for your service. I know that a lot of you have put in a lot of time, and some of you may be brand new to this committee process. And just thank you, because none of us has to do service. I mean, we have to do a little, but we get to choose what we do. So I thank you for choosing this. So today's agenda, just for a little fun, in the chat, I'm going to have you type your name, your state, your job position, and if you celebrate Thanksgiving, your favorite Thanksgiving food. So let's just take a couple minutes to do that. Oh, wow. Now I'm hungry. Look at all those delicious foods. So if you're just joining us, we're doing the first item on the list, just so we kind of get to know each other a little bit, with our names, states, position, and favorite Thanksgiving food or foods. Lots of you have more than one. All right, well, let's slow down a little bit. I've got a couple more slides I want to share, but when I'm done with that, I want to just remind you where things are on our website. And we're going to talk about some updates, how we're doing so far with our awards program. And I see more delicious foods like cranberry salsa just popped in from Donna. Sounds great. I think we should make a cookbook. So some statistics. Whoops, back up. We had 632 applications from 38 affiliates, and 430 moved on to national judging. And I couldn't locate the exact number from last year. It was probably 550. So we did significantly go up in our number of applications, because you all know what was going on last year. We had our big change in our lives. It continues. We've given away 70 scholarships to national award winners, totaling about 10,300. And 102 people volunteered to judge, and 62 were randomly selected to carry that on. I also had a number of alternates, and I actually needed to call on several of the alternates. So anyone who volunteered is greatly appreciated, because we used more than 62 to help us get through all of those applications. So if you know someone who was a judge, please thank them, because that's a big job, very important job. So some of my tips, and I think by touring the website a little bit and looking through the process, just be aware of the process and the timeline. Put the timeline on your calendar, because these months go by really quickly. Review the guidance or action plans in the case of this committee. And I have shipped out the action plans in editable Word documents. But this year we're doing something a little different. We're not going to have those Word documents. We're actually going to have you and your committee upload your action plan information into a portal. So I did send that to the current committee leads, and just for fun, I'm going to pop it into the chat again so that you have it at your fingertips. So this will make it a little bit easier for us to track these things. And if you have been the chair and you're going to move into the past chair, please work with the next person who will take over your role. And you might need to call on the previous person in your role if you're new to your role, and just work together, because there's always questions. Up until last week, I was still getting questions about the awards and what was coming and all that sort of thing. And remember, none of us are alone in these tasks, in these service related tasks. There are lots of people available to help you. Will is our #1 helper here. He's my best buddy. And we worked a lot together in the last 2 years to make this awards program happen. So again, I really do thank you, because this is a big job. So I am next going to stop sharing that screen, and I'm going to take us, I hope, to the website. Let's see if I can figure this out. Maybe I can't. Here we go. I'm going to share that screen. 3 screens on my computer. I get confused. Raise your hand if you can see the NEAFCS website. You see it? Okay, excellent. I did it right. So anyway, you're all familiar with this, but I want to draw your attention to where to look for things. So just kind of general, our main category, of course, in the awards program is this awards tab. So if anyone asks you questions, this is where to go. So this awards application won't go live until December 1st. So that one is not a current link, but that's where you will find it. So this is where a new name will go in the next week for our new Vice President Awards and Recognition. But I did want to point out the incredible work of our training committee, who developed these really fun and informative educational videos this year. So they're done in various ways. I kind of went old school simple with mine, but some people went really modern and a lot of fun. So check those out. The training committee will want to review those to be sure that they are still accurate and up to date. But certainly, if you want to start over again on any of those, you have some great patterns. So we also have the awards instructions, and in 2021 we will add step-by-step screenshots, and there's information on how to combine PowerPoints or documents using Adobe Acrobat. I have updated these 2 pieces for 2022. So if we just want to glance at what this looks like. This is awards at a glance. It's just a snapshot of all the awards. We will have this up and ready to go by December 1. So that's an important date to remember. So whoever becomes the next Vice President of Public Affairs, all of this gets launched December 1st, but because of the later date of this year's conference, I went ahead and updated as much as I could. This year, Will and I added a piece, and I think that has been helpful. This is the affirmation. And just for your background, I was running into a lot of people listing the wrong region where they were from. And in the end, that can end up kind of messing up our awards program, because I might be on the eastern part of North Dakota, but I'm in the central region nationally. So we went ahead and hopefully clarified this so people are all listing the correct national region. And then there's a bunch of other pieces as well. And just for your background, I did update, because there was a lot of confusion this year on how long you could have your application. It's 5 double-spaced pages. That's it. And we were getting really, really small font and really, really small margins. So I did clarify, so that everybody's on an even page when they start their applications. So that affirmation was new. There's some nice award-winning tips. So all of you being part of the committee structure, just be aware that these are some great tips that have come in through the years. And I guess number one is follow the guidelines. And if you know of people who are very disappointed they didn't win an award, try again. Just buff it up, take a look at the judge's comments, and reapply. That is totally fine. Also be aware of if there's a certain length of time, usually the program's done within the last 3 years, so be aware of that as well. But I just wanted you to be aware of these award documents. And another place, really important place. This is where I asked Susan, who was in my role before she went on to president-elect, where to find this. And I just want to show all of you because it helped me a lot. So for example, some of you may use your profile, and this is where you as committee leaders can go in and find out who's on your committee. And any of you can go in and take a look at this. So for example, I went to my features, I went to the committees. Maybe I went to the committees. Let's go to the committees. There we go. It's just a little slow. So for example, we have ceremony committee, sponsorship committee, and training committee. So if I wanted to know who's on the training committee currently, and this will change, so people who were on the committees last year will need to go back in and sign up for the committees, because we'll take off all the old members and update them for the coming year so that I can see these are current members on the committee. So there's messages, so I could post a message to people on the committee, and then under the members tab, I can go there and files. So just be aware, these are really handy tools.
Julie,
Yes.
I realized just by trial and error that, well, what you're saying there is great if you're on the committee, but if you're trying to find out who's on committees that you're not on, if you click on about NAEFCS at the top and then go down to committees, this is where Melissa was asking about where the reports are, the action plans, and most of the committees have those listed here. But what I found was, which one was it? I think it might have been the public affairs committees. They did a really great job of listing other members. So they listed who the officers were. Look at public affairs advocacy. Go down. Oh, there you go. See how they put other members and they listed those. That's very helpful. Because I'm not on that committee. I could find out, as the Ohio affiliate, I could find out who was listed as members, but not everyone did that. So I'm wondering if for the 2022 action plan, if there could be something added to encourage people to put in other members. And maybe there is, I don't know, but it's really helpful.
Yeah, that is helpful. Maybe that's a question for Will, because this will all be entered into a form for the coming year. Will, what do you think? Maybe.
Yes. Well, and we're actually looking at, once we get through annual session
Right.
and renewals at the end of the year, we're looking at for 2022, we're actually looking at switching committees over to the e-list instead. That will make things easier for you guys to communicate with one another. Now, my recommendation is this. Instead of putting all the members on, I mean, this is very helpful for a lot of reasons. You can tell this group particularly, they included handles for some people like Shauna Henley there. They've got the @food Martum or whatever it is. And that's helpful too, because then you can find each other and you can connect. I would recommend definitely making like a connection document for your committee as you start to work together, where you could do that, where you could say, okay, what information as a group do we want to share? And we won't post it publicly necessarily, but we could put it somewhere where only members could access it, and that kind of thing. So there are some committees that have an internal document like that where they kind of keep track of it that way as well. Ideally, we want all members to be in the committee, and any messages going to them going through the committee or in the future the e-list, because it will keep a copy of it for you. But having that being able to have that is a great opportunity. I can also look into seeing if we can add in our directory search, which is members only, a way to denote who's serving on committees.
Oh, that'd be
I'm not
beautiful.
sure. Yeah, I know our old member clicks platform didn't have that ability. I'm not sure if this one does yet, but I will add that to my notes to find a way to help people not on a committee find out who's on a committee in case they do want to reach out. It's just not something that's kind of connected right now, but I will take a look at that. The online form you're going to be filling out that Julie has shared the link for does not have room for you to list this kind of information, the additional people, but that doesn't mean you can't make your own document that does have that information. So please don't feel you can't do that. And I'll see what kind of extra things I can add as we move forward to make that easier for everybody.
Thank you, Will.
Great, great. So I'm back out and I'm going to go to the member center. And I wasn't sure where some of these documents were, so I just wanted to show all of you in case it helps you. So remember, document library, really important one to remember. So if we go to the policies and procedures manual, this is very important for this committee because this is a frequent question. And you can see that the number of allowable awardees is directly linked back to the number of active paid members. So you can see distinguished service, continued excellence. So if you had 40 paid members in your state, you could have one DSA, one continued excellence, that kind of thing. So this is an important document to be aware of because it does govern how many can be uploaded. And the other piece that's changed in the last 2 years, or maybe it's just new to me, but when you go and you enter your application, our old website would allow you to go back and redo it or change it. Now you do need to, if it's a minor tweak, and I checked with Will on this, he can make minor tweaks for the applicant, but if they're redoing something, they forgot a bunch of things, then they would upload their application again, let the VP and Will know, and that old one can be taken down and you get a new number. So that's just some important pieces. Because you, as part of these awards groups, might get these questions as well. So does that make sense? So if you're looking for this kind of information, you can see it's in the policies and procedures manual. And this is another piece you might be interested in. There's a finder's fee for an awards sponsorship. So if you find a potential award sponsor, it's worth up to a $50 scholarship to the annual session for each company or individual they refer that becomes an award sponsor. So that's again in the policies and procedures manual. So There you go. And then the other one that I did want to show you, we talked a little bit, and this is what your main task is today, are these action plans. And you will always find, well, maybe not in the future when we change this up, but currently the action plans look like this. And I sent them as Word documents in case you want to work in Word as you write these, but we have 3 action plans for this committee. And we are no longer going to call these, sorry if I'm making you dizzy, we're not going to call these subcommittees anymore. They are now committees. So there's the awards ceremony committee. So this group has been working very hard in the last few weeks to get ready for our annual awards ceremony. And you can see it's very, it's all listed out as to the dates when things should be there. If you read these, you'll see that we were planning a face-to-face meeting, but we obviously won't need a seating chart this week and those sorts of things. Next year, we hope we will need a seating chart. Action plan for sponsorship and support, and Melissa's done a wonderful job in being very creative and coming up with things like the Star Donor Club. And we do have a nice silent auction. I mentioned at the start that we're already at over $2,100. So that's great. And that, when people make donations or they buy things, I guess, on the silent auction, that is supporting all of our work. So it's, you get something, but you're really being supportive to the organization. And then this last group, I showed you some of their output for the last year with their videos, their newsletters. And again, really important as you work with the incoming Vice President for Public Affairs, that you are very timely in getting those documents so that those can be, and I like to review them. So they were sent to me and then I'd review them and I'd send them on to the secretary, and people did a great job. The articles were great. A lot of times you can just take the previous year's article and update it, add your own personal spin to it. But I did, again, I just wanted to show you where to find these things, because they're, past officers in our organization have worked very hard to make this a little easier for those of us who followed them. There's the officer toolkits. These are more for the affiliates. So if any of you have offices within that role, please remind them that they should go and really read through carefully and understand what those, what's in the toolkit, and what is the expectation of their job. So all of those things are there. So any questions, any more tips that you want to share with each other?
Hi, Julie, this is Diane. Can you repeat what you had said about once someone uploads a award application to the state affiliate and then they want to go in and make corrections? Is that allowable, or can you
No, you really can't. You'd have to upload a new one. And I don't know if Will is still on the line, but yes, we used to be able to do that. But of course, you all know we got a new website that has different functionality. And so if they make corrections, they would upload their new document. And with that new document or set of documents, you get a new number. And the affiliate vice president uses that number. It's like your application number that goes on the winner's sheet that goes on to national. If there's just small tweaks, like, oh, I forgot to upload my picture or a certain document, Will has helped us out by just uploading that, kind of overriding the system for us. But if it's a lot of changes and someone really wants to rework their application after their state judging, it becomes like a new number in our system. Does that make sense, Diane?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so that's a little different. And the other thing I just want to clarify with everyone, because we ran into this a lot last year, along with knowing what regions people were in nationally, that was probably the biggest question. But really important that people really read these instructions, and if there's a letter that's required or something like that, that it's included. Otherwise, you may lose a lot of points. So read those instructions, and if there is a state level contest, and some states do not like judge their own, they just sort of select who's going to be allowed to put their app in. It's really important that we're aware of that process. If you have a state judging time, these apps are not due on March 15th. That's when the national, that's when your winners are in by March 15th. So many states have an application deadline at the end of February to give a couple weeks, so that those can be judged, and then they're advanced. So there's actually 2 different dates, and that has thrown a lot of people through the years. I tried to clarify it in the last 2 years that it's actually a 2-level process, and it has to be uploaded, or those numbers have to be uploaded on a form by March 15th. And we're staying with that March 15th due date for the state winners and advancing to national. Does that make sense? And again, the application materials, all of this will go live December 1st. If all goes well. I've changed as much as I can. I've updated. The only thing that's left to do is to put in the new vice president for awards and recognition. So that should be pretty simple for Will to upload that or change that. Okay. Questions, comments? Are we doing okay? So what I did, a little different. I guess first thing I should do, and I haven't tried to do this before, but I think it'll work okay. Who would like to be a co-host for the training section, so that you have the ability to share your screen? Imagine that would be Melissa.
I can help with that. I'm not sure what you want me to do.
Okay.
So are we breaking out into the committees now?
We are, yes.
Oh, okay. Then I think if you want the incoming chair, I can do it. Yes.
Okay. Yes, I definitely would like that. So that was Cheryl, and I'm trying to find you on my list.
It's Hope.
Let's Hope. Oh, sorry. Hope Wilson. I will. Let's see. Is it gonna let me make you a co-host? Yeah, there you go. And Hope is gonna be a co-host. Who else?
I'll be co-hosting the support and sponsorship.
Yep. So I made you a
Okay,
co-host
fantastic.
already, and I need one more. So I have training, sponsorship, and ceremony. Let's see. Jennifer, I see you on. Can I make you a co-host?
For the ceremony? Of course.
All right.
Mm-mm.
Right. So we're trying something really new. Like, can I make John a co-host too?
You can make me a co-host with Hope.
All
That's
right.
fine.
Okay.
Anyone can be a co-host here. I just have to kind of assign it. So I haven't tried this particular tactic here, so we're kind of doing a little experiment. But what I did was create 3 rooms: training, sponsorship, and ceremony. I'm going to open all the rooms, and you will be able to select which room you want to go into. Okay?
Julie, before you do that, this is Keyshawn. I'm
Yes.
sorry about my voice. Were there any other changes? Like, were any awards collapsed or any of those things happen for this year, for the coming year?
No, the awards, they have all the sponsors in place. They should be pretty much similar to last year. So if
Okay.
people are wanting to start looking at the catalog of awards, I clarified some things, but the manual was in pretty good shape. If you see some things that are really confusing, I guess that would be something to share with me and Will and whoever is the new VP as soon as you can,
Okay.
because these will go live here soon.
And the other thing is, how do we notify? It seems like there should be a system for nationals to notify who is the new incoming VP for awards and recognition. I think we learned this year that Georgia had, I think, 2 previous VPs listed as the VP for awards and recognition.
That Will Ferguson at the national office keeps all of those pieces up to date, so he will be updating. I think one of the things that becomes a little challenging is that people hold their elections at different times of the year. And so officers change here and there, but I guess the best, let's see, I have to think who's in charge of that. Well, for now, I think Will Ferguson is probably your best bet if you make these changes. And I've had a couple emails this week telling me that, oh, we just had our elections and so is going to be our VP for awards. But there is a form that I think it's usually the affiliate president sends in with all the new officers. So they do have that form, but if something happens and you don't have the right people on the list, Will Ferguson maintains all those. I don't know how he keeps track of all this, honestly. It's astonishing to me. That's a great question. Any other questions? Okay, so we're going to try an experiment. So I'm going to open the rooms and you can choose one of the 3 rooms. And we should have somebody who has co-host privileges. And I hope these continue into the rooms. I haven't tried it before, but there we go. So you should see a little invitation pop up.
Hi, Julie. I did not receive an invitation.
Oh boy. Let's see. I don't know if I
didn't receive it either.
Let me see if I can assign you.
I was intending to go to the training committee room.
Okay, let me see if there's a way for me to assign. Looks like we have a few people who didn't get assigned. So Deandra, you want to go to training? Larissa, which one would you like to go to? How about Brittany?
I think I am also going to go to the training.
Okay. We've reached the outside of Julie's ability to use this Zoom system here, but let me see what I can figure out.
Thank you very much for helping.
Yes, thank you.
I was talking to myself. I thought I was unmuted. I'll go to training as well.
Okay, let's see if I can put you all in training. Um, So everybody else is in a room. Oh, here we go. Ha ha ha. I'm sending you in.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Jane. Would you like to go to one of the breakout rooms? We have sponsorship, training, and ceremony.
Let me go to the ceremony.
Okay,
All right, thanks.
just assigned you to that room.
So I think we just got kicked out of our breakout room.
I think we did. And it says the recording's in progress. So we need to stop the recording here.
So,
Julie, you still there?
I got my email from Will, so it looks like I'm all good to go on Will's side of things.
Okay.
So just keep me posted on what you need me
Sounds
to do
good.
and when meetings are, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. Thank you for stepping up. And I'm sorry we got cut up on the other discussion, but hang in there.
That's
It's
all right.
all good. We'll connect again.
And I bid on 2 things. I just went out and bid on 2 things.
I had active bids on like 7 things going into the weekend, and I told Will, I was like going, I'm just trying to bump it up, and I stopped. So I know I've got about probably, I don't know, 3 things, 4 things that were outbid this morning. So people are active, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Cool.
Julie, are you still there? If not, we'll sign off. So
Okay.
see y'all
Bye.
later. Bye.